Big questions. Is the BJP trying to deflect attention from the Adani issue by calling for Rahul Gandhi's apology? Did Rahul Gandhi fall into a trap by speaking out of turn in London? Is Parliament heading for another washout? Is the government unwilling to touch the Adani issue? Does the BJP want to make 2024 Modi versus Rahul once again? Raising all the questions that are often not asked on prime time. Joining me now, Syed Zafar Islam, BJP's evergreen spokesperson. Manikam Tagore is Congress Member of Parliament. Ravulla Sridhar Reddy is leader of the Bharatiya Rashtra Samiti, the Telangana party. And Rahul Srivastav is our National Affairs Editor. Let's start with you, Syed Zafar Islam. You are calling for Rahul Gandhi to apologize for what he has said in the United Kingdom. There is a belief that this is a diversionary tactic, or that's what the Congress says, from the core issue, which is Adani. They want to discuss Adani, you want to discuss everything but Adani. How do you respond?
Well, Adani is something which is a private company, and there's nothing which needs to be discussed on the floor of the Parliament. It's a company which he is running as a businessman. There is nothing which a political party needs to discuss. A business, whether it's doing good or bad, is something which he has to worry about it, or the shareholder has to worry about it, not the government or the Parliament. But what is important is that a parliamentarian who has won from a constituency in the country, who has been representing a political party and as a senior member of the political party, is speaking on a foreign soil, in the foreign parliament, British Parliament, as well as in a university and in the press. And what is he speaking? He is talking about the democracy is in danger. It's the mother of all democracies. Whether it's a BJP government, whether
no,
it's
does he have a freedom? No, Zafar Islam, does he have a freedom of opinion or not? If Rahul Gandhi believes democracy is in danger, that's his right. I mean, why should he apologize for that?
No. Of course he must apologize.
Why?
He can put our government in the dock. No, let me just complete. He has the right to speak about our government. He can put us in the dock if he is not happy with certain development or certain thing which is being done by the government. But when he is on a foreign soil, when he is talking to foreign media, he must respect our country, dignity of our country.
Okay, and you're saying he should have. Okay, I take your point. Okay, can I just hold on? I want to play. No, just a minute now.
Let me just come.
No, Zafar Islam, just a minute. You must now play. I'm going to play out what Prime Minister Modi said in Seoul after he became Prime Minister in 2015. Since you're saying foreign soil is where Rahul Gandhi should not have spoken like this, listen in to what Prime Minister Modi said. Then I want you to respond.
हिंदुस्तान में पैदा हुए, ये कोई देश है, ये कोई सरकार है, ये कोई लोग है, चलो छोड़ो चले जाए कहीं और लोग निकल पड़ते थे। कुछ वर्षों में तो हम ये भी देखते थे, उद्योग जगत के लोग कहते भाई अब तो यहां व्यापार नहीं करना है जी, अब यहां नहीं रहना है, और ज्यादातर लोगों ने तो एक पैर बाहर रख ही दिया था। और मैं आज विश्वास से कह सकता हूं कि अलग अलग जीवन के गणमान्य लोग, बड़े बड़े साइंटिस्ट क्यों न हो, विदेशों में कितनी ही कमाई क्यों न होती हो, उससे कम कमाई होती हो तो भी आज भारत वापस आने के लिए उत्सुक हो रहे हैं, आनंदित हो रहे हैं।
So for 70 years, the Prime Minister says lots of people wanted to leave the country. Is that not also, Zafar Islam, on foreign soil, showing India in a bad light? I mean, come on. There can't be different rules for different folks.
Pradeep, come on. Come on. I am really aghast that you are comparing the two statements. He is speaking in a reference to what people used to speak. He is not speaking. He said what the people's opinion was at that point in time. People were fed up with the governance model. People were fed up with the corruption, which was rampant corruption in the country. And people were fed up because the businessmen were harassed for collecting hafta, or so-called hafta means basically the bribe, which Congress was known for collecting bribe, and through the middlemen. So people wanted to leave, and the brain drain was there. Today, he is talking about the brain there is no brain drain. is a businessman. Everybody wants to be in India and contribute and be productive in
Sir,
India.
the
Because
fact-
there is a governance model. And
The fact
he
is-
is not talking about anything negative about anybody. But he is not questioning about the democracy. He is talking about the corruption. In what context is talking? In 2012, you know, ask anyone on the street.
The
people will
total
say that
number
the
of
government
Indians,
fraud.
Mr. Zafar Islam, the total number of Indians who have given up their Indian citizenship since 2011 comes to 16,63,440. The highest in this period, in fact,
It's
was
okay.
last year, 2,25,206. You know, my point is, Parliament is supposed to debate the issues that are relevant to India. By seeking an apology from Rahul Gandhi, are you diverting from that? I want a quick, sharp answer.
Not at all. No,
You don't want to discuss
see,
Adani.
If they were
You
really
don't want to
concerned-
discuss
No,
Adani, so you are
no,
using
let me-
anything and
let-
everything
let me
to keep
just-
the debate away from Adani.
Rajdeep, you know, there is a business advisory committee. All the political parties have representation in business advisory committee. They discuss what are the issues which need to be discussed on the floor of the parliament. And there is a meeting of minds, and that has already been agreed between all the political parties that 12 hours will be allocated for X, Y, Z discussion. X hours will be
Government
allocated
is
for
unwilling
this
to
kind, this
discuss.
discussion,
Government
this
is
debate.
unwilling to
But
discuss the Adani issue.
They are not. No, we want to discuss every single issue they want to discuss, but they want to disrupt the parliament. Are they behaving like any other political party should have been behaving in the parliament?
let
They are
me now-
disrupting the parliament. They are not behaving responsibly in the parliament. They first come across as the responsible politician. They are representing a constituency, and the interest of those constituency needs to be safeguarded, and that can happen only if the business is being transacted on the floor of the parliament. Something which they are not allowing.
Mr. Zafar Islam,
And this
you
is
made
what
your
our
point.
concern is.
You made your point. Now Manikam Tagore must respond. I gave you enough of time. Manikam Tagore, at the end of the day, the treasury benches decide what is discussed in parliament, what is not. It doesn't seem to be as if the entire opposition is one that they want to discuss the Adani issue. In fact, now few of the opposition parties whom we invited on the show today didn't even come when they heard that Adani will be discussed. So I want to understand, is the Congress the only party that wants a discussion on the Adani issue in parliament?
Thank you. There are 16 parties today met in the morning in Parliament, and including Aam Aadmi Party and DMK, NCP. There are 16 parties which met today in the morning with in Khargeji's chamber, and we all decided that we will take up Adani Modi issue in a clear-cut way, and we will continue to seek the answers from the government. And there is consensus among the 16 parties. There are 2-3 parties which has not been part of it. TMC was not part of today's meeting. For TMC, it has a different view, and the BRS was not part of today's meeting. They were not there in the meeting today in the morning meeting. Therefore, they will have a different view. In democracy, other parties can have different view. There is no problem in having a different view, but majority of the opposition parties have a similar view, and we are all decided that we will take up the issues and we will ask the questions to the government. Parliament is a place where we need to ask questions and government should answer. That's the platform.
Sir,
but what happened in Lok Sabha today, 11 o'clock when we assembled after the obituary things, Rajnath Singh ji stood up at 11:02 to disturb the house. It is unheard about it. Defense Minister of India and the leader of the house in Lok Sabha stood up and to speak about other things other than the question hour, and follows with the Parliamentary Affairs Minister. Now Treasury benches has decided to disturb Parliament. BJP has decided to disturb Parliament, not the Congress party or the opposition party.
So, but the fact is that Rahul Gandhi's statements have given the BJP an opportunity to say that Rahul Gandhi, when he talks about democracy, is in danger in this country, and then says, wonders, at least in one of his addresses, why the foreign power, why Europe, why America are silent. I mean, effectively suggesting that they need to break their silence, speak out on this issue. You are giving, I'll play this, just listen to what Rahul Gandhi said, and I want you to respond, Manikam Tagore, because you have given an opening to the BJP to suggest that Rahul Gandhi should not have made these statements on foreign soil, but listen in.
Well, how would you react if something, a structure 3.5 times Europe suddenly went non-democratic, right? That's happened already. That's not something that is going to happen in the future. That's already happened. But there's no reaction.
So the surprising thing is that the so-called defenders of democracy, which are the United States, European countries, seem to just be oblivious that a huge chunk of the democratic model has come undone, right? Which is a real problem.
First of all, it's our problem. Right? It's an internal problem, it's an Indian problem, and the solution is going to come from inside, it's not going to come from outside.
He says something on the 6th of March and then sort of changes his mind, Manikam Tagore, on the 7th. On the 6th of March, he was calling in a way for foreign countries to wake up to what's happening in India. 7th, he says it's an internal problem. You've given BJP an entry point to suggest that Rahul Gandhi should not have made these comments on foreign soil.
Please give me time, because that rules for 70 years. There was a 72 years rule in Indian politics. Always the Prime Minister never speaks about the Indian politics outside in foreign nations, and the opposition parties also never did it. Only once Mr. Subramanian Swamy in 1975 tried to do it in outside in USA. But after 2014, every rule has been changed by Mr. Modi. Modi changed it. It is like a test match rules. Now it has become a 2020 rule. Rules has been changed for the game, and Mr. Modi goes everywhere, to Seoul, to US, to Brazil. Wherever he goes, he will attack the opposition parties and the 70 years rule of his predecessors. That is the rule change Mr. Modi has brought in, to find fault with the earlier dispensations. When Mr. Gandhi says that the democracy in India is under attack and democracy is having is trying now, what is wrong in it? He is telling the truth. Then Godi media can jump into it and create some kind of news about it. Then 7th, he cleared it very clearly.
No, it's not the main. You see, the problem with the Congress is you all always
it is because of the Godi media.
Okay, you are blaming the Godi media, saying the Godi media is responsible for this, but Rahul Gandhi is responsible clearly for what he says on foreign soil. I want to bring in Ramula Sridhar Reddy. Mr. Reddy, your party doesn't seem to want to discuss Rahul Gandhi. Are you all on the same page on Adani issues, on the issues that the opposition wants to raise, or you want to stay away from Rahul Gandhi? You do not want to make 2024 Rahul versus Modi?
Now, how can it be Rahul versus Modi? That let the time come, the people will decide who will be the right person to face Modi and all that. You know, we have enough time
Rahul
to discuss.
Gandhi should apologize?
I don't think so, because if Rahul, every politician for that matter, has their right to express their opinions, irrespective of the place they wanted to speak. But at the same time, if it is actually belittling the country's respect or lowering the dignity, they must think, and people are there to decide.
No, do you think he was lowering the dignity?
I don't think so, because see, if that is lowering the dignity, what about our Honorable Prime Minister, working as a sales consultant to the one corporate? When, if everybody reminds the statement of a Sri Lankan foreign minister in the last week, he says the Prime Minister of India promoted Adani as the Indian representative for a business unit in Sri Lanka, and we see that as a government-to-government deal, that electricity deal. And you know what the electricity chief of Sri Lanka had to say about it? And after Adani, the Hindenburg report and all that, after all these things have become a controversy, when a Prime Minister can promote one corporate, and the BJP spokesperson says, we don't want to even discuss about a corporate, we don't want to bother. And, Prime Minister bothers more about Adani, and you say we don't bother.
Okay,
what about one more thing I want to say? If Rahul Gandhi's comments, while I am not supporting, rather denying at this point in time, Rahul Gandhi's statements, it is, some other issue we'll discuss. What about Mr. Narendra Modi going to a foreign soil, breaking all protocols, campaign for the American presidentship. He said, "Ab ki baar Trump Sarkar." Can you imagine, can you really expect a prime minister visiting a country speaking about the incumbent president to become the next president? What business we have in it?
Okay,
Is
let
it not very indignant?
Rahul Srivastava give us a sense which is less partisan. We've got, every political party has their view, but Rahul Srivastava, is this an attempt to deflect from the core Adani issue which the opposition wants to raise? Or is this the BJP cleverly positioning the battle for 2024 as Modi versus Rahul, prop up Rahul Gandhi, keep the attack on Rahul Gandhi so that he stays in the limelight?
Yes, Rajdeep. See, politics is about being clever. Politics is not about being unclever. See, from the first day when it has happened, it's very clear that the BJP will catch on to it and will make an outrage versus outrage battle. Your outrage versus my outrage, and it will become a Rahul Gandhi versus Modi and Congress versus the BJP. That's what the BJP wants, ultimate battle. If you allow me time, Rajdeep, I'll give you some very interesting. Today morning, every morning at 10 o'clock, there is a meeting with the Prime Minister, top leaders, Rajnath Singh, Amit Shah, everybody meets him. And in that meeting, it is decided whether MPs of the government or the BJP will go inside the house with firearms or with flowers. Signs were there. 4 MPs started protesting outside, asking for apology from Rahul Gandhi. Some ministers who walked in late, they started talking about an apology. At 11:03.33, 3 minutes past 11, Rajnath Singh takes permission of the chair and the chair allows him. The choice of the man who raised the issue is interesting, Rajdeep. Rajnath Singh has the best relations with the opposition. The man who's usually the go-to man for the opposition, it was he who raises the issue and asks an apology, making everything black and white, in which he says that India was outraged and India felt hurt and he should apologize. Then it is the Parliamentary Affairs Minister and Piyush Goyal. Now, if you see the sequence, it happened right after, as one of the panelists said, 16 opposition parties held a meeting. Some were not there, but the fact is they decided that Adani and Hindenburg is going to be the mainstay of their attack on the government. So the government realized that the opposition is not going to let the House function, wants to run it on its own terms, on Hindenburg and Adani. So the government decided that this is going to be their preemptive strike, counter-offensive. Before they hit the floor, we will hit the floor.
That's interesting the way you're putting it, Rahul Srivastava, but what is the rule under which he has to apologize?
Rajdeep, there is no rule, there is no resolution. If you remember, in sometime, I think in 2017-18, if I'm not wrong, 2017, it was Gujarat elections in which Prime Minister Narendra Modi was speaking in Palanpur in Gujarat when he made a remark regarding Dr. Manmohan Singh when he was Prime Minister, ex-Prime Minister, that he was sitting with some Pakistani officials and conspiring. Now, on that, the Congress disrupted the House, and it was Arun Jaitley who served an half apology saying that the government holds ex-Prime Minister Manmohan Singh in high esteem. One interesting element, Rajdeep, that the government has decided to work on its own terms. In this session, it only has to pass the finance bill. And on March 14th, 2018, if you recall, the finance bill was passed without any debate. And when it comes to apology, Rajdeep, another detail I would like to give, every time that the government is facing an attack from Congress or the opposition, Congress party or Rahul Gandhi, there is an apology element which comes in. For example, when Chaukidar Chor idea happened, then apology was demanded. When Supreme Court upheld the Rafale element, then on Sam Pitroda's comments and all, then apology was demanded in 2019. That was May 2019. Then January 23, SC verdict on note ban. Rahul Gandhi apology demanded. The BJP regularly demands an apology from Rahul Gandhi every time he steps out to attack the BJP or the government.
Let me, Syed Zafar Islam, kya hai? What is this apology politics? Why do you want Rahul, where is the rule in the parliament that he has to apologize? You just are using it to deflect because you do not want Adani to be discussed. Let's be honest, let's call a spade a spade. The government doesn't want Adani to be discussed. Therefore, you are using whatever you can to deflect from Adani. You are telling me on this show we are ready to discuss anything. In the previous session, the Prime Minister was silent on Adani. Now when the opposition is demanding a discussion on it, are you ready? Discuss Adani, doodh ka doodh, pani ka pani.
Rajdeep, you understand how the parliament functions. There is a business advisory committee, as I said earlier.
The business advisory
They
committee,
discuss
the
the
business
issues which need to
advisory
be-
committee is unwilling to listen to the opposition.
Let me
The business advisory committee is unwilling to listen to the opposition.
That's not true. That's not true. You are stating something which is factually absolutely incorrect.
Not true.
You are misleading the nation by saying that there is a meeting of minds between the parties that these are the issues which need to be discussed. And
The
once they are on
opposition
the
is
floor of the
claiming
parliament,
that they have gone to
they
the
start
speaker
discuss-
calling for a discussion
Just
on
a
Adani.
second.
The government is unwilling to do it.
No, see, what the issue needs to be discussed, that has to be discussed in the Business Advisory Committee. And when I am saying that there was a meeting of minds between the parties, means the issues have been resolved, that these are the issues which will be discussed.
No,
and
sir,
that
they
will
were
be
not
discussed
resolved.
as time has been
Do not
allocated.
mislead.
Unfortunately.
No, they were not. They were not discussed. They were
No,
not
I'm
discussed. The
misleading.
government is unwilling.
You are in.
Government is
No,
unwilling
that's
to
not
discuss
correct.
Adani issue.
The government had allocated even 12 hours for such discussions, and they still chose to disrupt the parliament and behave irresponsibly.
1:30.
All I'm trying to do, the business can be transacted.
Rahul Srivastava,
the parliament can
Rahul
function
Srivastava, you
as
are,
long as
no, I want a clarification.
opposition
Rahul
parties start
Srivastava,
behaving-
did the government agree to discuss the Adani issue at the Business Advisory Committee?
No, Rajdeep. There have
I'm
been,
not talking about the issues which...
Rajdeep, there
No,
is-
no, no,
there is a
don't,
problem
don't
here.
mislead. Zafar Islam, you have been
Zafar.
caught on the wrong foot.
No,
Go ahead,
I'm not-
Rahul.
Zafar, there is a-
See, you
Zafar,
and I have
Zafar,
no
please.
you and I have no role to say anything. It is the Business Advisory Committee which is represented by all the political parties. They discuss.
Sir, do not be
and deliberated on the
disingenuous.
issues which needs to be
Rahul
discussed on the floor
Srivastava,
of
1
Parliament.
minute. Was
you
it
are
discussed?
fixated about X, Y, Z. I cannot
I am
say
not
X, Y, Z.
fixated.
What
The
has been
opposition
discussed
is.
in the Business
No,
Advisory
no, the
Committee.
opposition is saying this government is unwilling to discuss Adani.
They should discuss it. They should discuss in BSE.
Okay,
not here,
Manikam Thakur?
not outside the Parliament.
Manikam Tagore, what happened?
Today, just on the business advisory committee, today 1:30 there was a business advisory committee in the Lok Sabha. And let me put in the record clearly. There was a 1:30, the meeting was there, in which Mr. Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary from the Congress party and DMK leader Mr. T.R. Balu raised the issue of Adani, discussion on Adani. The government was not ready to do it. Therefore, they walked out of it, the meeting, and they boycotted the remaining part of the BAC. First time a speaker's called meeting has been boycotted by the main opposition parties. Both the parties has done it today, 1:30. Because of this hangama and others, nobody has noticed it. Because the government was not ready for a debate in Lok Sabha. That I wanted to put it.
So you're saying that at the Business
Rajdeep.
Advisory Committee, yes, very quickly, Rahul Srivastava.
Rajdeep, the point is that several adjournment motions have been submitted. If the government wants to discuss any issue which is occupying political space, the government can relent on that. The point is, it is very clear, Rajdeep, that the government does not want to discuss Adani. On the other hand, by making an unnuanced statement, I think Rahul Gandhi has given a weapon, and eventually now there is no meeting ground in Parliament. I think this budget is going to be a repeat of 2018. The finance bill is likely to be passed without debate. Eventually, I think there is going to be din in the coming days, and that's bad news for democracy.
Okay, the fact is that we have a parliament which is increasingly dysfunctional in this country. And remember, you and I, the taxpayers, are paying for the functioning of parliament. And if parliament becomes dysfunctional, what does it mean for our democracy? Thank you all to my guests for joining me.